Engaging hyperdrive.
A bright light dazzles you while piloting your ship. The comm system has received an unexpected signal. It's a three-dimensional holographic map of the system. A violet symbol makes the coordinates of the signal's source, Minimas V, a crater moon orbiting around an ecumenopolis planet. Once you land on the barren satellite, you use your oracle system to track the signal. It appears to emulate from the dark side of the moon. After a few hours of travel, you find a colossal horizontal structure protruding from the side of a mountain. The building's exterior is severely damaged. You discover a detailed map of the facility printed on one of the walls. The Oracle is able to scan the discolored drawing and produce a virtual recreation of the building's layout. And that is what we are starting off with now. So we are here at the lunar skyline entrance. I'm back with my character Gray. She only has 6 health, so it's extremely risky what I'm trying to do here. Or I don't even know. I just know that it's like a sci-fi dungeon of sorts. I know that I can freely move from room to room through the corridors. And then whenever I find a vent entrance, I can roll Grace. And if I succeed, you can access the vent system. Now, my question is, I can roll Grace, which is a challenge roll, but what is the challenge roll that I'm supposed to be rolling against is the question. So the corridors are these like white bars area, and then the vents are this line that have slashes through them. So I'm at the lunar skyline entrance. And I have 3 options. I can go down towards the south and go through this entrance. I can go to the middle entrance, and that will enter into the CCTV room. And then there is the husk storage up north. Now there is one vent entrance, and I kind of want to do that because I only have 6 health. I don't know what's in this place, but it's been calling to me, and I feel like answers are here. So, I guess one question, let's ask the Oracle. I haven't used that mechanic yet. So, you can ask open-ended questions that can't be answered with a yes or a no. They are more abstract in nature and will provide a word that you can use as a narrative prompt to build your story. So, but that's one side of the Oracle. The other side of the Oracle system is it helps players build a narrative by answering their questions. So there are 2 types. I can ask yes/no questions and open-ended questions. So my first yes/no question is, will I find information inside of Minimas V connected to my past? So I ask the Oracle that question. That can be answered with a yes or no, and then I will roll a d6 and see what I get. That's what I'm going to first do before I head inside. That's a 6. It's a yes and. So that's a positive bonus. Positive plus a bonus. I'm going to roll another. There's another table on here. So yes and another 6. So time. That is what I rolled. I rolled a yes and time. What could that mean? I'm also going to roll a d10 plus my grace stat, which is a 2. And let's see what I get. I'm not sure. So there's no fixed difficulty number or challenge die or target number that's required for success. So it just says roll grace. And if I succeed, then I'm able to use the vent. Then I can access the vent system. I'm just going to roll, and so that is a d10 plus 2. Okay, that's a 5. Rolled a 3. I rolled a 5. Not sure. It doesn't say. Let's see. Maybe it's somewhere on the... Let's see. So I want to access the vent here. I guess because it doesn't say like what the actual challenge number is, I'm just going to roll a d10, and that is going to be like the environment rolling. I'm going to say that's the challenge die, and I'm going to see what I get. Hopefully I roll lower than a 5. Yes, I rolled a 1. Okay, so I accessed it. I'm going to say, so I've been thinking about it. I got a yes and for will I find answers about my past in this station, in this area, and I got yes and. So I'm going to say not only, so I get a yes and a bonus. So not only do I learn that, I think I'm going to find information like, because my file is dated pre-collapse. So I think information connected to that I'm not a new cyborg, that was just scavenged together. I think I was made during the old world before the apocalypse even began, so possibly offline for centuries, and I think that's where the time comes in. I think I've been around for a very long time, dormant. And so my system is probably like legacy hardware, what I've been made of. And so I'm going to head inside. I rolled a 5. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go through the vent here, and I'm going to move up to husk storage, actually, and see what's in here. So I'm now in husk storage. So I'm able to navigate through the vents, and I drop down into the husk storage. And I'm guessing vents are safer because I don't want to trip off any alarms or anything like that. Just, if this is creepy, I have 6 health, and they're saying you could just walk through any corridor. So the room is silent. Dozens of lifeless android bodies stand in the center of the room, arranged in perfect, unsettling geometrical patterns. They are dusty relics of the old world, waiting for command that never came. So I retrieve 2 energy cells and 3 health packs. Oh, yes. I am going to 2 energy cells and 3 health packs. Nice, I will take it. So now I'm up to 5. And I'm going to use a health pack right now. I'm going to roll a d10 plus my vigor. My vigor is 1, so I'm going to roll d10 plus 1. Nice. Okay, so I get 9 health back. So I am up to 15 now. There is a connecting door that leads into the next room. I could go, there's robot repair here. But I guess my character doesn't know that. This is kind of just me with meta language. There is the CCTV room as well. It's kind of risky getting further away from the CCTV room. But, I gotta think as my character, she doesn't know what the layout of this place is. So if I see a door, we're gonna walk through the door and proceed to this room here and head into robot repair. Okay, so let's see. This is the robot repair room. An intricate sculpture of chrome and metal decorates the room. Synthetic limbs and android body parts are repaired by automated mechanical arms. I can roll tech. If you succeed, you gain +1 hyperdrive and 30 scraps for each of your cyber-tech implants. So I have 2 cyber-tech implants, but I gotta roll tech. And tech is 3. If you succeed, you gain +1 hyperdrive. So there is no number that I'm like, there's no success number. So I'm guessing I'm just gonna roll a regular challenge die and just try to beat that number. So let's roll the challenge die first. Oof, that's a 9. So I need to roll a 9 to beat it. But I have good chances. My tech is a +3, so let's see. So what number do I need to beat it? I need a... Let's see. I forgot if this game is like meets it, beats it, or do I need to get a 10 or higher? Okay, if the result of the player die is higher, you succeed. Rolls against the environment or without an opponent won't have any stats added to the challenge die. Okay, I just needed that confirmation. So I do need to roll a 10 or higher. So I have a +3. So if I need to roll a 7 and above on my rolls on the base die. Yes! I rolled a 7. Success. Nice. Okay, so I'm in the robot repair room. If I succeed, I get +1 hyperdrive. I gotta look up what that does. And 30 scraps for each of my cybertech implants. So I have 2. So that means I get 60 more scraps. Okay, so now I have 110 scraps. Now there is a testing chamber. Again, this is meta knowledge. My character knows that there is a vent and then there is a room here. I'm not sure. So what I'm going to say is I'm going to roll a d6. 1 to 3, I'm going to move to this room off to the side. 4 to 6, I'm going to go up the vent, or try to go up the vent. Okay, so I rolled a 6. So I'm going to try to do a ventilation roll. Again, let's, if I want to make I have to roll plus grace. So it's a +2, so d10 + 2. Okay, so that's a 6. And then I'm gonna roll for the environment now, the challenge die, and hopefully I get lower than a 6. Yes, that is a 5. So I'm able to access the ventilation system going through here. There is the vent room here. Let me see if this is actual place. It doesn't have a number. I think it might just be the vent room, and that's it. Yeah, so this is not a place. So I notice I'm going to continue crawling. And I'm going to go down here and then head in here. And this is the power plant. That's where I head to next. Okay, so hyperdrive, this feature, it allows you to push your character's limits by overclocking their system. So you can spend 1 charge to do one of the following. You can re-roll any dice in the game. You can deal the maximum possible damage with any attack or ability. And you can use a hack, a cybertech skill, or any other ability without paying its energy cost. So you start the game with 0, and so I just gained 1. So these are just kind of like cool little like re-roll tokens, do cool extra stuff. And that's gonna come in clutch. You can have up to 5 of them according to the character sheet. Nice. Okay, so now I'm in the power plant. A compact generator powered by an altered Tesseract provides energy for the entire facility. There are a couple things that I can do in here. I can steal the Tesseract. The generator is deactivated. Darkness engulfs the building as lights and technological systems suddenly stop working. All synth enemies are now hostile. And then, okay, so, I mean, now I know that there are synth enemies in here. If I do this, I'll get -1 to the synth arc faction. Oh, I don't want to do that. I can install a virus. If you have 3+ min or are part of Medusa, all synth enemies start combat stunned for 2 turns. Mind, sorry, 3+ mind. I don't. My tech is 3, but my mind is not 3. So unfortunately, I don't want to do either of these. And there's nothing saying that I have to. So I see this power plant. I see these options. I could steal the Tesseract, but I don't want to get into bad graces of the synth arc so soon. Especially knowing that, like, I possibly was made here in this facility, you know, I don't know. So, in that case, we could go back up the vents. So I see that there's another ventilation system here, and then there is a room connected. Again, I'm going to roll a d6. 1, 2, 3. I'm going to go to the connected room and not ventilate. Okay, that's 1. So I head through the power plant. I go down here. And I enter into the Cathedral of Foundation. So I leave the humming generator behind and step through the double doors into the cathedral. Is this the moment that I've been searching for? I find myself in this massive space that was once a sterile operating theater, now converted into this ornate, terrifyingly beautiful cathedral. The walls are draped in cables arranged like religious tapestries. And at the altar stands the prophet, the first cyborg created by Project Genesis and the founder of the synth arc. He led the revolt here years ago, and he turns his chrome-plated skull towards me. His eyes scan my chassis, recognizing the specific weave of my synthetic carbon fiber. He knows exactly what I am because he is just like me. And because my origin is cyborg, there is a peaceful and revelatory type encounter. The prophet doesn't attack. He welcomes me like a lost sibling. And there are a few things I can do. I can approach him. If I am a cyborg, the prophet gifts me a Tesseract. Oh my god! Rebirth. Okay. I can also do rebirth. If you are a member of the Ark, you can be reborn as a cyborg. Well, I'm already a cyborg. And I can also attack. And then it will, I don't know. Why would I do that? No way. I'm going to approach him. And he welcomes me, and I've been waiting for this moment. I haven't been back online that long, but I felt something missing. And walking to this cathedral, it feels complete. And he speaks. He says, "You have returned to the cradle." And his voice is this chorus of synthesized tones. "We are the bridge between the flesh that decays and the steel that endures." And he hands me a Tesseract. This is a very cool, rare artifact for like high level crafting. So that's very cool. I'm going to add it to my inventory. I will look it up later what it does specifically, but I also gain +1 favor with the synth arc. Nice. This is what I wanted. And playing through this, it confirms it even more. I was thinking about synth arc or Medusa. You know, I wouldn't hate it if I was in the good graces of Medusa, but I think I am fully going to pledge myself to synth arc. It just feels right. So let's we're synth arc right here. Let's add a +1. There we go. Synth arc right here is now a +1. So cool. Okay. I'm going to walk up to him. I take his hands. I clasp them in mine, and I bend down and press my forehead to his hands and say thank you. And I'm going to ask a question too. And this is where the Oracle will come in again. This is going to be, I want it to be a more open-ended question. So it can't be answered with a yes or no. So the more abstract in nature, the better. And we'll roll, and it'll provide a word that we can use as a narrative prompt to build on that story. So I'm going to roll 2d6. And I can choose again if the initial result doesn't make sense. So what is the question? It can't be a yes or no. I'm going to ask, why was I put to sleep? And why was I returned at this time? It's like a two-parter question, but they do go hand in hand. So my kind of barrage of questions is, why was I put offline for so long, and why wake me up now? Why me? And then I mean, are there others out there like me? That's more questions, you know? But let's ask those first few. So we're going to roll 2d6. Okay, so that's a 1 and a 4. So 1 is no, and 4 is pain. Ooh, okay, interesting. I want to ask another question too, before I start thinking about what the answers were. But are there more like me out there? Us of the old world? And that is a yes or no question, rather than the open-ended one. So I'm going to roll a d6 and see what that answer could be. That's a 6. Yes, and. So it is a positive plus a bonus. So thinking a little bit more, I asked the why me, and I got no and pain. The prophet leans down, his chrome fingers tracing the air near my face. He tells me, you were not put offline for a grand purpose, nor were you a sleeper agent waiting for a command. You were a failure. Your system crashed during the old world because the integration of the human psyche rejected the synthetic body. And you didn't wake up because it was time. You woke up because the facility itself is in pain. The station's reactor is failing, the tectonic plates of Minimas V are shifting, and the agony of the station's AI jolted your system back online as a desperate accidental reflex. Which is a very unfortunate, sad answer, you know. You think maybe I'm woken up for a greater purpose, but the prophet says you were not saved, Gray. You were discarded. You did not wake from sleep. You woke from the trauma of this world dying around us. And I ask, are there others? I ask if I'm alone. And I see the red lights of his eyes dim to a softer hue. You are not the only relic. There are others from the old world, siblings of steel, buried in the static of the universe. But I'm going to say he doesn't just tell me. He gives me the key to finding one. He unplugs a cable from his neck and he extends it to me. And I get one data shard. And because I rolled yes and the book says positive plus a bonus. This is the bonus. I'm going to say data shard. I'm going to add it to my inventory. And it has encrypted coordinates of a sleeping sibling of sorts, located in the outer ring. I have one more question. So what do I do now? I was discarded. I am scraps. But now that I am awake again, what is my new purpose? So I'm going to roll. So that is a open-ended question. An open-ended one. So I'm going to roll 2d6 and see what I get. Okay, I got 2 and 4. So 2 is no, and 4 is desire. So I asked this question to the prophet, and he gives me this final lesson. I rolled no and desire for the oracle. The prophet pauses. He looks at my carbon fiber hands. He tells me, machines have functions, souls have desires. That is the difference. I cannot tell you who to be. You must find the thing you want, the thing you crave enough to bleed for. That hunger is your new operating system. So there is no mission, there is no protocol. And I see him shake his head slowly. To give you a purpose would be to make you a slave again. And so I nod in understanding, knowing that I need to find my own purpose. And I won't get answers from anyone else but myself. So I have to continue to explore to find that purpose. I nod in thanks, and I see the prophet. He steps back to the altar. He turns his attention to the wires draped, and I am free. Terrifyingly free. So I have the Tesseract, I have a data shard. The prophet has returned to his meditation. I'm gonna go, because there's a few places I can go to. let's see. I'm going to roll a d4. So 1 is the control room, 2 is neurobank, 3 is ossuary, and then 4 is the biochemical laboratory. I'm not really sure which to go with, so I'm just going to roll a d4 and see where I go next. Okay, so that is a 2. So I head down, and then I head into this room here, the neurobank. And that is room 10, the neurobank. It's a sub-zero chamber that stores hundreds of frozen human brains used during the cyborg birthing process. Interesting. Okay, so not much to see in the neurobank area. It's very cold, sub-zero conditions in here, but my ceramic skin protects me. Let's say I'm gonna head to the control room. Seems to make the most sense. I'm gonna head through this hallway here. So I step through the heavy blast doors from the neurobank into the control room. This seems to be the facility's brain. I see banks of monitors cover the walls, displaying flowing streams of data, system diagnostic, and security feeds from across the moon base. And the hum of servers here is deafening compared to the silence of the cryo chamber. There is an android titan standing between me and the main terminal. This is like a war machine, and it's towering, it's plated in heavy armor, and it's built for defense. Now, it guards the facility's controls. All tech and electronic systems are supervised from here. I'm not going to engage, of course. So I see it, a little freaked out, but I'm not going to engage. I'm going to continue to move. And that was a good idea, because this android titan has 35 HP, 3 armor. It's a level 3 enemy. As we found out before, I'm not ready for level 3 enemies. I will run away until I'm ready. So, yep, I keep it moving. So in this, does not say there's no options to be like, you can fight it, you can run away. Like, it doesn't say what I can do. So in that case, I'm just going to keep moving, and I head to down this hallway here. And I go up to this room that says artificial womb. I see a massive fluid tank where android bodies and human brains are linked. The womb is in the process of creating a new cyborg. You may buy experimental cybertech implants from a digital interface. So, let's see. I mean, it depends. If I can buy more, let's just see what's available. You know, it doesn't hurt to look. Okay, I do have a Tesseract, because it looks like it costs 15 experience points and 500 serum. But you can also exchange them for a Tesseract. But I think my Tesseract is so cool, I think. So let's see, what does a Tesseract do? It's a cyan-colored hologram in the shape of a 4D cube. You can spend it to restore 3... I gotta learn what the 3 lightning bolt symbol means, but for each of the cybertech implants. Okay. I can use it to also buy another implant. Let's see. These experimental ones are pretty dangerous, so I'm gonna skip it for now. Okay, so I'm going to head in here. I believe I already did the testing chamber. So basically just making my way back through the facility. But if I want to get back to the CCTV room, I do need to roll a ventilation check again. So that is D10 plus my grace stat, which is 2. Nice, I got an 11. So I believe that's a success, but I will roll the challenge die anyway. Yes, that's a 5. So I head up into the vent. You know, I feel like this place is pretty safe. I'm not understanding like the point of using the vents, but hey, you know, I haven't checked every room yet, so let's see. I'm going to the CCTV room, and there is a wall of hundreds of TV screens that project the feeds from cameras located throughout the facility. Your every move is being watched. you find a random melee weapon. Oh, nice. Let's see what it is. Random melee. Okay, 1, 2, 3. So I'm gonna roll a d6. I'm gonna see what melee weapon I find. It's a 1. Okay, I find a carbon dagger. And that is a d6 plus grace. Okay. Every move is being watched. I mean, probably by the Prophet. And that Android Titan. Okay, so I'm gonna walk through here. I was gonna use the vent again, but I can't just walk through the power plant. Back through the cathedral and then head into the biochemical laboratory. So what's in here? The biochemical laboratory, it's a state-of-the-art synthetic tissue lab. You encounter oh my god. Okay, this is where the enemy was. There was one room, okay, that had an enemy in it. You encounter a cyber-terrorist who infiltrated the building on a mission to kill the Prophet. So, why would I... Okay, so I'm reading ahead, you guys. The options are attack, defeat the Medusa agent, and I gain a random hack, or that gives me -1 with Medusa. That's fine. I can help her kill the Prophet, and she joins your crew. That's crazy. No freaking way. So let's see. I can attack her, but then she's trying to kill the Prophet. Let's see. Let's roll a d20. Let's see what the enemy looks like. I love that there's a lot of tables. So I rolled a 19. Okay, they're wearing glasses, and I'll roll another d20. And old clothes and glasses. Medusa agent. Wait, did I check all the rooms? I think the ossuary is the last one I'm going to check, but I'm in the biochemical laboratory for now. Okay, so they're wearing old clothes and glasses. Let me see what their stats were. Or are. Please don't be level... I can deal with level 1 and 2, but if it's level 3, I'm gonna run away. And apologize to the Prophet in the future. Oh no, it's a level 3! Oh, they are the most lethal Medusa operatives, frontline soldiers in the fight for the cybersphere. I mean, I can try. You know, I have Halo discs now. And the Cyber-Terrorist only has 1 armor. Oh, I don't know. There's a possibility. I mean, let's give it a shot. Let's see. Okay, let's give them a token. Here we go. Old clothes and glasses. Okay, this is Cyber-Terrorist. They have 35. Oh, that's crazy. So let's do... I have 15 health, and I have 2 health packs. They have 0 vigor, 2 grace, 4 mind, 2 tech. So yes, of course, because they're all about hacking. So let's see. Let's go back to combat rules. Uh-oh. Okay, split into turns. D10 plus grace. So let's roll D10 plus 2 for me. Okay. That's a 7. And theirs was a 2 as well. So that's another D10 plus 2. Let's see. Oh, of course. They got a 10. Okay. I do have a slight advantage. I have Octo Tentacle, so that gives me extra main and side action. Their hacks though are crazy. Okay, they're gonna go first. So I'm gonna roll a d10 and see what they roll. Oh my god, here we go. Okay, that's a 6. So they hack counter spell. Silence all enemies for min turns. So, okay, silence. So they silenced me. That's not too bad, right? Okay, so they silenced me. Okay. So let's see. What does counterspell do exactly? Silence all. Okay, so they silenced me. I am not sure how that affects me right now, but I'm going to count it as a positive. The best positive I can think of dealing with like a level 3 enemy. So, once I act, it is my turn. I am going to use my Octo Tentacles. I can only use it once, so I have an extra action. I'm going to attack twice with my Halo Discs. Okay, so that is 2d6 plus 2, and I can do that twice. Okay, so hopefully get some high numbers. Okay, so that's 10 for the first one. Okay, 11. Oh my gosh, that's 21. Minus, what do they have? Do they have armor? 1. Oh my god, 20 damage. Oh my god, this is great. Okay, they're at 15 health. Oh my god. Okay, we're kind of on the same leveling field. Oh my god. Okay. I'm gonna use another health pack. So it's like a health stim. I rip one out, and I know now I only have one left, but that is D10 plus vigor, so that is my D10 plus 1, I believe. So let's see. Okay, so I get 7 more. So I go up to 22. So it is back to the Cyber-Terrorist turn. Okay, D10 for them. That's a 1. Okay, I will take that 1. That is Carbon Dagger, so it's a D6 plus their grace. So it's D6 plus 2. Of course, I rolled the highest number. It's 8. Minus 3 is 5. Okay, so I go down to 17 as they go to slash at me with their dagger. And I can't use the Octo Tentacles again, but I do have a hyperdrive, so I can re-roll if I wanted. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to use my Halo Disc again. And if it's really bad, then I will use a hyperdrive to re-roll, but... Okay, so that's 10 more. Minus 1 is 9. Oh my gosh, they are down to 6 damage. Oh my god, am I going to take down a Cyber-Terrorist? That is crazy. Okay. So that's my turn as I have the Halo Disc out and I swipe. And they are going to roll again to try 2. What is that? A 2 is another Cyber Dagger. I could take it. Oh my gosh. I've never been happier to get stabbed by... Okay, that's a D6. It's only 1d6 plus their grace. Of course I rolled 6 again. Jesus Christ. Okay, so that's 8 minus 3. So I am down to 12 health. And once again, I'm hoping that I roll really well. I mean, using the Halo Disc again, plus 2, and hoping I can take them out. So that's 7. Oh my gosh. That's exactly the number I needed. And they are dead. Oh my god, that's great. I was sure. Level 3, because the level 3... Well, level 3 before was hard because I had actually 2 enemies that I was fighting against instead of 1. Dead. Wow. So not only did I help the Prophet, okay, so they were a level 3 enemy. So that means they were hard. I get 6 XP. So I also get better loot. So my XP is now at 9. I now have 9 XP. And then so I'm going to go and roll for loot. So now it was a hard enemy, so I'm going to roll 3d6. Okay, that is 13. I get a random melee weapon mod. If you defeat a boss, you must roll extra d6. I don't think it was a boss. Boss is level 4, no. Okay, so random weapon mod. Okay, that's for melee, so I'm going to roll a d6 and see which one I get. It's a 6. I get charge attack. You may spend 3... What's the little... I need to look up what the little lightning bolt symbol is. When attacking with this weapon, if you do, it deals double damage. Nice. I'm adding that to the Halo discs, boy. This is charge attack. But it says you must, if you spend 3, what is that little symbol? Oh my gosh, it's energy. Of course it's energy. So you spend 3 energy, deals double damage. Wow, very cool, very cool. Okay, so that is charge attack. So now I can like charge up the Halo discs. That's cool. Let's see. Okay, so according to, let's go back here. So I also gain a random hack, but also I have -1 with the Medusa. That's okay. So let's roll for a random hack. So I'm going to roll on the hack table and see what I get. Random hack. Okay, so there is a D10 hacks table, so I'm going to roll a D10, see what I get. Okay, that's a 10. I got Hydra. Deal D10 plus mind damage to a breached enemy. So I need to breach them first, so breach an enemy. So it looks like I need Trojan to do that anyway. Hydra. So I got Hydra. Looks like I'll need Trojan, the Trojan hack first. So, but I'll take it. And I think the hacks go in the memory slots. So I got Hydra. So I make my way to the final sector of the Empyrean Laboratories. So I'm heading to the ossuary. So I'm going to step over the Cyber-Terrorist body, let the Prophet know they're safe now. I thought, look, there's eyes everywhere. How did this Cyber-Terrorist get in? Well, I guess Cyber-Terrorists, that makes sense. They were able to hack in without being noticed. So we are now in the final room. Let's just see what's here before we end this session. This is the ossuary. An incineration device used to cremate the bodies of the androids who didn't survive the experimental implants. Ooh, interesting. The air smells like ash and burnt ozone. This is clearly the facility's graveyard. This is where the failures were cremated. Looking around, there are no active terminals, enemies here, so it's a quiet, just somber place of disposal. So, that is where we end. I have explored the facility, I've met the Prophet, I've upgraded a bit, survived an enemy encounter. I'm going to step back out into the cathedral, back out here, and then head back to the skyline entrance. And the Nova waits for me on the landing pad. So, I am back in the Nova. After learning a good amount about who Gray is and what she wants, and she has to decide what she wants for herself. I know that we want to gain more points with the synth arc faction and learn more about what she wants. So we're just going to continue to explore and see what her mission in this new life is. And that is where we're going to end the session and come back and start up a new cycle in the next one. This was really fun and informative. It was a really great session. Wow, excited to play some more.